Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. It's Bernard here with the latest Citizen Present vlog, which is doing on Wednesday the 22nd of January 2020. I'm looking back at Tuesday night's game, Sheffield United versus Manchester City at Bramhall Lane. Kick-off 7:30 p.m. Very unusual to get back to an old 7:30. I'm an old fart, obviously, so I was used to these 7:30 kickoffs back in the day, but very unusual to have a 7:30 kickoff, isn't it? But I noticed a couple of games kicked off at that time last night. Right, City versus Sheffield United. Right, what's Pep doing to us? What the team he put out? Well, what can you say? Ederson, no surprise. Walker, okay. Otamendi, yeah, I thought so against Sheffield United. Laporte, wonderful, absolutely fantastic. Fernandinho, yeah. Rodri, yeah, so Fernand's not obviously playing DM, is it? Rodri, Zinchenko, KDB, Mahrez, good to see Mahrez back. Sterling, well, he's obviously hoping he'll play out through his bad form, I assume. And obviously the informed striker Aguero, no. Jesus, not Aguero. So yeah, what's he trying to do to us? At least I had a whinge against after the Palace game, you know, that he was gone to his old standard team, but he's gone bigger tonight, hasn't he? Obviously, he kept us guessing tonight, and I think quite rightly as well. We're playing Sheffield United, a good team, physical team. We know that. We know that they played really well. I've watched a lot of Sheffield games this season. I'm really well. I've been quite impressed with Chris Wilder. Not so much with last night's side of Sheffield United, but we'll go on to that. But yeah, it was a good, bigger, tougher City team, because I did say against Palace we looked like dwarves most of the time in the box, on corners, etc. We had no real physicality against a team like Palace. So against Sheffield United, you're definitely going to need some physicality, aren't you? The consensus on Twitter before the game, yeah, a few surprises. Everyone was well happy to see Laporte. The only downer on that was some people were saying, "Is it too quick?" But hey, we have to believe that Pep and the doctors know what they're doing, don't we? And obviously, why no Aguero? Why was Sterling playing and not Aguero? That was the other thing. I mean, not the particularly Jesus playing. It would have been nice to see Jesus and Aguero, most people thought, but the fact that Sterling's still in the squad, and yet he's having a terrible run of form, and where was Sergio? Anyway, so that was before the game. The game kicked off. First little bit of good was from a defensive point of view. I mean, Sheffield United didn't wander into our sphere of the 18-yard box very often. I'll do the stats at the end of the game rather than I usually do at the start. I'll do them at the end today, just for a change. I'll go through the game first. But 5 minutes. I mean, Sheffield United very nearly scored. If Fernand hadn't got a toe to a ball, that sort of helped it to Ederson. Sheffield United had a really good chance, and there was a potential for going 1-0 down after 5 minutes there. So it was good and bad in the fact we let it through, but Fernand got his foot to it. And then on 12 minutes, we saw a bit of what Sheffield United were going to be like on the night, and that was the tackle on Laporte, which was absolutely awful tackle. I mean, it looked worse in slow motion like they always do. But that sort of studs up, leaving your foot in thing happened 2 or 3 times last night, and it wasn't pleasant. And all right, the player perhaps doesn't on his mind. It's Laporte. Has he got it in his mind? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say no. But for a player just coming back from a long-term injury, that was absolutely shocking, and the City fans there were incensed, and quite rightly so. But that was to show us what Sheffield United were going to do for the rest of the game. Really, we knew they're going to be a tough team, but they weren't afraid of leaving the foot in it. Obviously, on 19 minutes, we nearly had a wonderful goal. I mean, and what this would have done for Sterling's confidence would have been unbelievable. He sort of did a couple of 1-2s with Mahrez, and they broke away, and this looked like the old City at pace. And then finally Mahrez crossed it back to Sterling, who did everything right. I mean, his shot was on target, but Henderson, who obviously drops the ball in his own goal when he's playing teams like Liverpool, but became Levy Yashin, didn't he? For the older guys amongst us, he became Yashin for that moment, didn't he? And just pulled off an excellent save. It was an excellent save, and that would have done Sterling's confidence the world of good if that had gone in. But you can't, he did everything right there, Sterling. That was probably one of his most telling thing of the match, to be honest with you, pace-wise and finishing-wise. So he's unlucky there. 24 minutes, we had the wonderful Otamendi becoming Dennis Stuart, didn't he, from about 8 yards out after a corner, I think it was. It sort of bobbled about a bit, and it fell to Otamendi, who did a wonderful side scissor kick thing, but unfortunately it was sort of straight. If he'd fluffed it a bit like a la Rooney, you know, if he'd fluffed it and shinned it a bit, it might have gone in, but obviously it went straight to Henderson, unfortunately. But it was a good attempt. And then on 35 minutes, well, Mahrez won us a penalty, didn't it? Excellent. He took on some men, took the tackle. Lee Mason, you know, all credit to him again. I don't rate Lee Mason at all, and we'll go on to him later again. But I saw the penalty give it. VAR didn't see enough to cancel it quite rightly because Mahrez had been fouled. But I looked at Jesus lining up for it. Jesus likes to put it to the keeper's right. Unfortunately, he also likes to put it at a height where keepers can save it, as an ex-keeper myself. So, again, as you know, I look at this penalty. I knew it was going to the goalkeeper's right. It did. Perhaps he didn't need to be 2 yards off his line, the keeper, but, you know, there you go. He probably would have saved it anyway because it was such an absolutely piss-poor penalty that he was PPP there. It was absolutely dreadful from Jesus, and we'll go on to what, obviously, Pep said about that later. But an awful penalty. Yes, the keeper was off his line. Yes, what the hell does the linesman do? We don't have VAR for these things. Mike Riley said that we're not really that tight on goalkeepers keeping the feet on the line, which is fair enough. But there is a level, isn't there? There's a difference between having 1 foot, a couple of inches, or a foot off the line, to having a goalkeeper literally standing about 1.5 yards off his line, and the linesman there, and he's got one job to do. He didn't even spot it. So just another farce. We can be accurate on a nipple and a heel being offside, can't we? But we can't be accurate on the fact that a goalkeeper's well off his line. But hey, we didn't deserve. You know, at the end of the day, it turned out okay in the end, didn't it? So we didn't deserve any favours. And Jesus, terrible penalty. I never want to see Jesus take another penalty again, especially not in a penalty shootout at the end of a European Cup final or an FA Cup final or a League Cup final. No, I would dread it. So, I mean, his confidence is shot, and it didn't improve for the rest of the game, Jesus. So, half-time, 0-0. We had 2 or 3 chances, didn't we? So, I think we should have been at least 2-0 up at half-time. Would it come back to haunt us? Fortunately, it didn't, did it? On to the second half. 58 minutes. A great Rodri glancing header. Just bent wide of the post from it. I think, it was a corner. Not like us to create chances from corners, but obviously we had bigger lads there last night, didn't we? So we did create a little bit more. Great glancing header, and I mean, Henderson was nowhere, and it just literally, it didn't actually hit the post, but it just sort of skimmed, it sort of kissed it on the way past, you know, the post on the way past. 60 minutes, a couple of minutes later, Jesus had a fantastic chance, and we've seen him score these where the ball came across and it obviously headed it in the opposite direction. And he did, but unfortunately he got no power on it. So the cross came and he headed it, and Henderson just literally plucked it out of the air. It wasn't even that great. And on 61 minutes, we had the first real bit of pressure, the continuous pressure from Sheffield. When I say continuous pressure, probably for about 90 seconds, where it ended up that the Sheffield United player was back to go, ended up trying to do a clever back heel into the goal, but fortunately it was more or less straight at Edison, so we saved it. On 60s, that was the 61st minute. 67 minutes, we had Aguero on for Jesus. So I mean, that's got to be a plus, hasn't it? 60. That's got to be a good, not a bad. 71 minutes, Sheffield United had another good chance. Cross across, but I think he was offside, but he failed to connect. The guy in the middle failed to connect, and it could have easily been 1-0 to Sheffield. But then again, looking back, it did look as though it would have been called for offside anyway. I'm not sure the linesman flagged, but it certainly looked offside from the replay. So, but perhaps that kicked us into a little bit of forward play, but not necessarily. On 77 minutes, Garcia came on for Laporte, and he did look a bit tired, and he was limping a little bit, but apparently all's okay with Laporte. So fantastic return from him. And obviously Eric Garcia came on for the last 13 minutes plus injury time. 84 minutes, another really good Sterling run into the box. He took on players, did everything right, and then the ball just ended up wide of the post, and that was just Sterling summed up. Really, he can do little bits, but obviously it doesn't do the whole thing. 80 minutes onwards, I made a little note about Edison's distribution was absolutely terrible. There was at least 3 or 4 goal kicks or kicks from his area that just went out of play. It was I remember it was like when he got injured that time in that European game where he started kicking the ball out, and I had to double check, make sure his legs were still attached to him, because his kicking became absolutely awful. He probably lost half a mark for me because of that. Because early on, he dealt with a couple of crosses okay, which is nice to see. Because I'm not his greatest fan on crosses. I don't think he's that great on them, to be honest with you. So his distribution went to pot, and I think they mentioned it on commentary as well. 87 minutes, Sterling again. He had KDB to his right, and he just didn't play it to KDB. He took it himself. Again, a lack of confidence. Absolutely dreadful from Sterling, who was my worst City man of the match. We'll go on to the scores later. 91 minutes. Sorry if I missed the goal. Did I miss the goal? I missed the goal. How did I miss the goal? Sorry, back on 72 minutes. KDB to Aguero. Fantastic. To the back post. Wonderful. I'm getting to the end of the game there. It's still 0-0. Fantastic cross by KDB. This is what we expect from KDB. And Sergio, the sniffer at the far post. Absolutely wonderfully taken goal. And the defenders were just too much on the defenders to get it. So, yeah, that's when we got the Garcia for Laporte substitution after that. We looked comfortable, didn't we, 72, 77. It didn't look as though Sheffield United were going to do anything apart from Edison giving the ball away to him every chance he got. Sterling failing to, obviously, put the game beyond doubt. 91 minutes, obviously. We're 1-0 up. Bernardo came on for Sterling. And obviously 94 minutes, we had a cracking effort from Rodri, didn't we? He was also looking a bit tired by them, but he levered it, and it just sort of bared wide. So full time 1-0 to City. It was nearly 0-0 there, wasn't it? If you hadn't watched the game, and it was nearly a 0-0 draw, wasn't it? If you left it to me, so don't have me up front striking. I'd hit it over the bar every time. Yeah, so I'm not going to go back and edit that anyway. That's it's just. My apologies, but we get there. We knew the score, didn't we? Well, there was no surprise to anyone. The stats: Sheffield United, City had 32%. Sheffield United had 33% possession, 67% for City. 4 shots for Sheffield, 1 on target. 18 for City, 5 on target. So we're only up about 30% again. So not fantastic. Fouls 13 each, so City usually cause more fouls these days, whether that's right or not. Yellow cards 4 for Sheffield United, 3 for City. I mean, I think there should have been at least 1 or 2 red cards as well last night. Corners 5 for Sheffield, 13 for Manchester City. Sheffield United, just a little comment on them. All right, it's a Premier League. You're up north on a Tuesday night. So, they're going to fight out and they're going to put the effort in. And all credit to them, they did that. But I think they just bordered on the dirty there last night. I just think they're just a little bit over the top. But, no, I've been impressed with Sheffield. I'm not going to hold this against them. They've been really good all season. I've been quite impressed with Sheffield United. From a positive point of view, they have worked hard for each other and they have played really well all season. And last night, they perhaps played against a really good team in City last night. We were well organised. They didn't have many chances and they were perhaps showed City a little bit of respect, as in not coming forward, but certainly no respect as far as kicking us was concerned. I mean, they didn't worry about that. But no, I like Sheffield United, piddly things, won't we? You pick up the niggly things and stuff, and obviously he will book players. We've seen him book players, but he does lack that ability to make the big decisions. Lee Mason, he's not one of them. We don't have any good refs, do we? Let's be honest about it. And Lee Mason is probably one of the worst. Player ratings. So I'll have a quick look at what Stuart Brennan thought of the old player ratings, and I'll give you mine as we go along. Edison, 1 panicky fumble at a cross almost handed the Blades the lead, and that was a rare involvement for him. So he's give Edison a 5. I'd nearly give him a 5.5, but I've actually given him a 6 because I remember he did some come through 2 or 3 crosses. So apart from his distribution, so I'm going to give Edison a bang average 6. I'm going to be okay with it. I'm not going to go mad. I was going to give him a 5.5, and Stuart's giving him a 5, but I'll give Edison a 6. Otamendi, his bicycle kick would have been hilarious, but apart from a couple of edgy moments, he coped reasonably well with the physical stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's what you want Otamendi for. He's only given him a 6, so I give Otamendi a 7.5. I thought Otamendi was superb. Just the right sort of game for him, a physical Sheffield United, and that's what he loves, a bit of a battle, which is great. So I was a bit kinder. I give Otamendi 7.5. Fernandinho, a couple of smart fouls, both sides were at it, and his usual brand of composure and ultra competitiveness. So Stuart's give him a good 7. So again, with the Thurner, I'm going to give him 7 as well. I don't think he was quite up there with Otamendi, but he did a good job. Got stuck in, wasn't afraid to get stuck in. Laporte, a couple of rusty moments, which you'd expect, and his passing will take some tuning, but overall a reassuring return for the key defenders. So Stuart's give him a 7. I give Laporte a 7.5. I nearly give him an 8, but yes, he wasn't 100% perfect, but considering he's coming back from a long-term injury, fantastic, excellent, brilliant performance from Laporte. But I'll give him a 7.5. I won't push it to the 8. You know me, I'm mean. Kyle Walker looked a little humbled by his warm reception. Yeah, he used to be a Sheffield United fan, didn't he? Or he probably still is a Sheffield United fan. But still managed a couple of robust challenges and some powerful defending. I give Kyle Walker a 7. Yeah, I wasn't over enamoured about Kyle Walker. I'm with 6.5, which is fair enough, a little bit better than average for Walker. Rodri, Stuart had a real fight on his hands to maintain order in midfield and looked like he was treading water for the last 10 minutes. Yeah, he was tired, but so it was a physical game. So give Rodri a 6. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 6. He wasn't anything fantastic. I nearly give him a 6.5, but I'll agree with Stuart. I'll give him a 6 for a good standard game, tough game. Kevin De Bruyne could not find his passing and was not a big influence until he came up with another brilliant match-winning assist. So yeah, he's giving Kevin De Bruyne a 7. I've got to give him a 7 as well, with just the extra players. Said he was reasonably quiet apart from that, and you don't expect KDB to put his foot in and get involved in the physical stuff. But yeah, I agree with the 7 from Stuart. Zinchenko, always neat and constructive, absent defensively at times, but his positivity is always a good thing for the Blues. Stuart's given him a 7. I thought I didn't really notice Zinchenko much, which is not always a bad thing. I mean, I've just given him a 6, a bog standard 6 Zinchenko. I don't think he added too much, but perhaps I'm being mean. But Stuart's given him a 7, I'll give him a 6. Riyad Mahrez always looked like the man who would open blades up and did so to earn the penalty, the best player on the pitch. You give me Riyad Mahrez an 8. Yeah, I mean, I give Mahrez a high 7.5 as well. So I've matched him with Otamendi and Laporte. He's probably my men of the match, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, he's not usually up for a physical battle, Mahrez, but he was the one who worried them. We could see he worried them last night, and then obviously until Aguero came on, you could see Aguero worried Sheffield United as well when he came on, which is why it would have been nice for him to see him from the start, but it all worked out, didn't it? So he gave Riyad Mahrez an 8, Stuart. I give him a 7.5. Raheem Sterling, his flat period goes on. This was a Sterling we saw under Pellegrini. I've seen that a couple of times. Not sharp, blind alleys, wrong decision. He's given a 5, Sterling. Yeah, I'll have to agree with the 5. I mean, I'm not going to go as... He's not my lowest player last night, but yeah, I'll agree with Stuart's another below poor average performance from Raheem. If that early chance had gone in, things may have been different. It may have done in the world of good, but hey, that's hindsight. Nothing much you can do about it. Will he play this week? Who knows? Gabriel Jesus, regardless of the keeper's movement, it was a terrible penalty. I absolutely agree. And that knocked his confidence and brought him an early hook. So, yeah, I mean, 4. Stuart's given him a 4. And this is probably one of my lowest marks ever, certainly for Jesus. 4. I've given him a 4.5. I nearly gave him a 5, but he was terrible. That penalty, I'm sorry. I'll knock a couple of points off for that penalty. Then he obviously tried, but he didn't. He was just non-existent for most of the game, wasn't he? The subs, Aguero for Jesus on 66, scored the winning goal, and like so often won City all 3 points. So he's given Sergio a 7. Yeah, I can't agree with that. In fact, I'll give Sergio a 7.5 because of the circumstances. Superb again. 252nd goal, is it? Can we keep count of these now, can't we? Because we're sort of in our minds. Eric Garcia for Laporte. A vital tackle late on, and he's giving him a 6, Eric Garcia. Yeah, I mean, I give him a 6 coming on the pitch and 6.5 for being a cool bugger. So, yeah, I'll give him a 6.5 for that. Bernardo was obviously on far too late to do anything really, to influence anything. Pep was there for his after-match conference. Looked a bit more cheerful. Well, cheerful. He wasn't too bad against Palace, but a little bit more positive last night. Nearly 9 minutes he did the post-match interview. He was asked about Laporte, and he said, obviously, Laporte is one of the best, certainly, if not the best, left-footed central defenders in the world, and we're going to miss people like him. It's great to have him back. He was asked about Mendy and Stones. He said Mendy should be okay for the United Cup game, but Stones has a little niggly problem that we're not too sure about. It seems to be Stone's story of Stone's season, doesn't it? And obviously he was asked about penalties, and he was definitely concerned. He did joke, and you've probably seen it on Twitter, about Ederson being our best penalty taker because he's got no blood in his veins and he's so calm, etc. But yeah, I mean, Stepney used to take penalties for United. I'm sure other goalkeepers have done it for the first teams. I took one for my team once as a goalkeeper. I missed it, but there you go. Ooh, not very good. I did manage to get back before any carnage ensued at the other end, but there you go. Because I was good at penalties in practice, but obviously when it came to the pressure of a game, even in front of 10 men and a dog, I battled it. So there you go. I've got no room to talk. I'm good at saving penalties. I'll give you that. I do have a really good rate of saving penalties, so that's all I can claim. Not for taking them. So yeah, let Ederson take it. Let him see what happens. Put a couple of men on the halfway line. Let Ederson take the penalty and see what happens. But he said he's going to sort it out, which we need to, don't we? People are going on about KDB, but I don't think KDB wants to take him. I've heard he's taken one for City and he missed it, so I'm not sure when that was or how it was or what circumstances. But I don't think KDB wants to take it, so he's not going to people banging on about KDB taking him if he doesn't want to take him. He's asked about Garcia, obviously, about the minutes he's getting in the games, and he seemed quite happy. He sort of skirted over the question and said when he comes on, he's superb. He's got total faith in Garcia. But yeah, he was happy, Pep. I mean, it was a good Pep Watch. His cough's there. His cough's a little bit worse, I think, but whose wouldn't be in this weather? So that's left the City back. Well, we are in second, so that's cemented our second place. 13 points behind Liverpool, but they do have 2 games in hand. But there you go. I mean, we know that's over, don't we? But more interesting, we're 17 points ahead of the 5th place United and 6th place Wolves, but they do have a game in hand on us, so that's 7. So even if they win the game in hand, still 14 points. So we're making that a little bit more comfortable. When Pep said last week about qualifying for the Champions League, perhaps he wasn't a million miles away with what he was saying about that. So, yeah, that's interesting. It'd be nice to put that to bed, wouldn't it? So, anyway, that's good. Sheffield United 0, Manchester City 0. No, Sheffield United 0, Manchester City 1. It was left to me as a reporter. I mean, I'll be getting sacked once. So sacked in the morning. Getting sacked in the morning. Right, just have a quick look at Twitterverse before I have a look at the Fulham game. The 1894 group obviously had the image. Actually, I'm on this on the left-hand side next to my lad. If you ever zoom in on it, they had an image of these little signs. Some people are a bit derogatory about it, saying, oh yeah, VAR's been scrapped because a few people hold up A4 signs, So there's, at least you're doing something. At least they're doing something. This is the thing. It's people go on about these things. Oh, it's pathetic what you're doing. But at least they're doing something. If you zoom in on that, you'll see me with an hat on the left-hand side about halfway up. So anyway, you're probably not going to do it unless you want to put it in the window and frighten burglars away or something. Yeah. So I'm on that picture. That's nice. I've kept that for myself and shown it my lad. He stood next to me with the sign up as well. My son. I'm in a bright blue sort of puffer jacket thing, so you can't miss me. I stand out on there anyway. If you get it, that's on the 1894 group on Twitter. So have a look at that image if you want to see some idiots holding up signs. But hey, what can we do? We have to make an effort, don't we? Yeah, and then we go on to last night. Main Road Ramble was saying it looks like a 3-4-3 at first glance. Curious if Pep went in this direction to give a Rusty Laporte some security, or because these tactics make the most sense against Sheffield United. I think you make more sense against Sheffield United, and they work pretty well. I mean, yeah, I didn't give Pep a rating, did I? But last night, I'd say a very, very solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 for Pep last night. Pablo Zabaleta at Pablo_Zabaleta. It was a pleasure to receive my award from the Premier League and Cadbury's to get some chocolate to mark my 300th appearance. So many great memories over the past 12 years, and it's been an honour to represent 2 fantastic clubs, Manchester City and West Ham. Thank you. So well done, Pablo. He deserves everything he gets. At Davros 1736, yeah, I mean the Continental Cup game, I think the City are playing the women. I'm not really into the women's football. I keep a little look at what's going on, but I get too disappointed when City lose. I can't do with getting disappointed when the women lose as well. But obviously the Continental Cup's been been actually put in the same night as City playing United. So again, but that's happened a few times, hasn't it? And they don't seem to. And this is probably why, and I think he says in there, that's probably why the women's game is never really going to grow that much. And the 1894 group, again, they've been busy at 1894 group _MCFC. As a club, we can't complain about having to play too many matches if we are one of the clubs trying to increase the number of games in the Champions League. So, yeah, this is where they're actually saying there's going to be another 4 games added to the Champions League. And obviously, the League Cup's probably been looked at to be scrapped for teams in European competitions. So, yeah, that's it's a shame. I mean, it's our League Cup, isn't it? Well, we don't really want to scrap it, do we? It's a bit depressing. Let's have a look at this one. At @la_Tarrant. Kevin De Bruyne is the first player, he picked up on this and a few others did as well. Kevin De Bruyne is the first player in the Premier League history to provide 15 plus assists in 3 different campaigns. So, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic from Kevin De Bruyne. Aymeric Laporte on his own Twitter at Laporte, and he shows a picture of that horrible tackle in the early doors yesterday, and he said, I missed you to the Premier League. So that was quite obviously good, and it's good to see him in good mood and obviously fit and not suffering any injury after that or any further things in the game. Obviously, Bernardo V3, Ryan at Bernardo V3 commented on the referee not seeing Henderson off his line and the level of refereeing is shambolic. Well, it wasn't really a referee; it was a linesman, but hey, that's. We've been there, and we've done that. And I don't usually talk about other games, but Everton played Newcastle last night, if you remember, and actually they were 2-0 up into the 94th minute, and they ended up drawing 2-2. And it's quite funny. This is from a Liverpool fan. I wouldn't normally post this, but I'm sure Everton fans took it in the spirit it was meant, even though it's from a Liverpool fan. So probably not in the spirit it was meant. But so at Tetty SZN, and he said Everton in normal time, and he had obviously the team, Everton in normal time, the players, which is fair enough. And then he had Everton in stoppage time. So obviously he had various caricatures of the Everton team. That's quite funny. A bit City, and I would have probably had a laugh as well. That is quite funny. It obviously not at the time. I mean, if I'd been at Goodison yesterday, obviously I would have been absolutely disgusted with it, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it is quite. If you think back and look on a reflection, you've got to take it on the chin, haven't you? Sometimes banter is good, and that was quite funny. And Simon Curtis, I mean, at Bifana _Bifana. Quick word about Lee Mason. Has always been one of the worst of a bad bunch, but tonight he managed to book petty infringements and back chat while broadly ignoring a series of attempts to break legs. Incredible display of ineptitude. Don't disagree with that, Simon Curtis. Right, on to Sunday. FA Cup 4th round, 1 p.m. kickoff. There we go. Another unusual kickoff time. So that's 26th of January. Obviously, Scott Parker's Fulham obviously been there since 2019, hasn't he? The betting odds, 1-8 on for City to win, 10-1 the draw, and 25-1 for Fulham to win. Or if you put a quid on, you lose a quid. City are 9-4 favourites still for the FA Cup, so it's nice to see. I think the next one's Liverpool, about 5 or 6-1. So I mean, City are clear favourites. Fulham 500-1. So again, you put a quid on, you'll lose a quid. We've played in the FA Cup before, back in 1908. 22nd of February, actually drew at home. So 1908, it would have been at Hyde Road. We had drew. 1908, yeah, I'll be covering that now. One of my next history vlogs, obviously from 1905 to World War One. So 1-1 draw at home, and then a 3-1 defeat. I assume it was Craven Cottage in the replay. And again, we played him in 1914, so that was the last time we played him in the FA Cup, and we again at Hyde Road, and again that one we won 2-0, so we did far better on that one. Games I've been to, I mean, that was my first time I went to Main Road to watch City and Fulham. It was the league winning season there. So some familiar names to most City fans on there in the City team. The only change to that team was number 6. We had Bobby Kennedy. Great team. Anyone on their team I know? No idea. Don't know any of theirs on that. But yeah, that was the first time I would have Probably. I may have gone, I don't know, they were in the first division in the early 60s. I did start going about 66. So that's the first programme I've got anyway of City versus Fulham. We won that one 5-1 on the way to winning the league that season. 2 goals from Neil Young, Bell, Lee and Summerby, all with 1 each. The three statues, Bell, Lee and Summerby. Cheeseman's been doing a bit about statues, hasn't he, recently? So 30,773. So not a bad crowd. And we played them twice, didn't we, at home last year? I mean, this was the round 4 of the Carabao Cup game we played them. So Diaz scored 2 in that one. Diaz scored 2, and we beat them 2-0 in the League Cup. Well, I think we beat them in the league as well in the September of that last season. I think we beat them in the league. Was it 3-0? Sure, will it be in here? Just have a. My memory's not great. Yeah, 3-0, 53,307. So yeah, that was obviously one of the last season's programmes. Played them 30 times at Main Road, won 18, drawn 6, lost 6, scored 74, and let 35 in. That's in the league, and obviously, we played in the League Cup twice, and 2 wins, 4 goals, 4-1 against, and of course the FA Cup games I just mentioned. 2215 fans came to that game not this one. There's 400 odd at this Carabao Cup game. So I don't know how many tickets they've sold for the FA Cup. Obviously not going to bring 8,000 like Port Vale. They brought 2,000 to the FA. It'd be interesting to see, won't it, how many Fulham bring. They're not the greatest number of travelling support, Fulham. So it'd be interesting to see how many fans they do bring. I'm not sure whether they've got they're just going to have the normal allocation over the 3 tiers that you have for league games at the Etihad. So that'd be interesting to see. I'm not sure. I've not seen any information on that anyway. But they brought 2,200 in the league last season. So perhaps if they bring 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, all credit to them. Perhaps they bring more. I'm not sure. Perhaps they are bringing 8,000, but I doubt it very much. How are they doing? Well, they're doing pretty well, actually. The fans are quite confident. They're in positive mood at the moment. They even think they've got a chance with automatic promotion, because obviously West Brom and Leeds are in the spots at the moment, but they're stuttering a little bit. Certainly Leeds have started to stutter. And so they're a little bit, I think they're 4 points behind, third in the Championship. The away form's okay, 1-5, drawn 4, and lost 4. They beat Aston Villa at home in the third round, 2-1, a good win for them. And yeah, they can be good. They still got some good players, as we know. They bought a lot of players when they came to the Premier League, and obviously, although they got relegated, they managed to hang on to most of those players. And there's a couple of young players coming through as well that the Fulham fans are quite bullish about. So it should be a good game. Interesting to see what the City team, what we're going to do. I mean, I assume we're going to put Bravo in goal. I think it's going to be Cancelo. Obviously, Harwood Bellis is injured, is he, at the moment? So I think Garcia will play at the back. I don't think he'll risk Laporte again, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be surprised if Zinchenko doesn't play again. Aguero or Jesus. I mean, he's probably going to play Jesus again. And please don't play. Will he play Sterling again to try and get his confidence back? I just don't know. It's going to be interesting what team he will put out. I expect to see I expect to see Foden start the game, obviously, but it will be interesting. And we've got a game, obviously, in the Cup against United we want to put to bed, don't we, on the 2 or 3 nights later. So he'll probably rest KDB. I imagine David will be back. I imagine David Silva will be back. John Stones perhaps will be back as well. So it'd be an interesting team, won't it? And I mean, whatever team we put out, I mean, even though Fulham are doing really, really well and played some good stuff, it should be, will it be reminiscent of the 5-1 back in 1968? Well, it shouldn't. It should be quite easy, shouldn't it? I mean, no disrespect to Fulham, but if it's not at least 3, I'll go for 3-0. Well, Bravo's in goal, isn't he? So 3-1 or 4-1, but I'll stick with 3-0, and hopefully we should keep a clean sheet. As I said, they don't score many goals. They're not prolific really away from home at goal scoring Fulham. So let's keep another clean sheet. Let's keep 2 clean sheets on the trot. Let's go for a 3-0. That's City versus Fulham on Sunday in the FA Cup fourth round, and then I'll be back on the Monday with the reports on that, and I look forward to the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-finals against our old friends from across the way, from Salford, obviously Manchester United. So I'll be back with a little preview of that. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. If you follow me on Twitter at nostalgia_movie, that'll be great. I'm on Facebook at Brennan with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, which is my website and my little business where I sell DVDs, posters, and board games. Have a look on there if you ever get a chance. That'll be absolutely fantastic. Please push the subscribe button, push the bell notifications. All my links are below to the different things and the different other vlogs I've done on City. And I'm currently in the process of doing my City Past vlog, which is on February 1982, where, yes, City are up at the top again, up at the top of the First Division again in 1982, challenging. There's even a top of the table clash with another team. I won't ruin it by saying who that team is, but it's not who you think when we travel. They're second in the league and they're top. So there's even a top of the table clash from February 1982. And Mr. John Bond is in charge. So still in charge after the 1981 nearly winning the FA Cup. So I'm doing that at the moment. So please keep your eyes open for that in the Citizen vlogs past. So that'll be the next one I'll be putting out on that. And as I said, there'll be another history one from 1904 to the First World War coming out within a couple of weeks. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do with the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, and more importantly, look after your family. And if you see me on Sunday, if you're at the game on Sunday, if you see me knocking around, I might have a bob, I might have a hat on or something. It might be cold, so come and say hello if you see me. Anyways, I say I usually have a wander around the ground before I go and have a couple of beers. My lad's not there on Sunday. He's making some sort of point. I don't know what point he is. He's a bit miffed about VAR. He's not very happy with VAR at the moment. So he's having to. His first game he's missed for a long time through choice. And he's missed a few through obviously work commitments, etc. Like we both have. But he's making a point. So I'm going to be on my lonesome in the ground anyway. But I'll be shouting me head off as usual, so in the singing section. So please, if you do spot me out and about or even in the stadium, come and say hello, and nice to see you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Look after yourself, look after your friends, look after your family, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.